Ask the Mayor. Your chance to ask the Mayor of Weymouth questions about the town and or anything else that you have concerns about. Ask the Mayor is pre-recorded. And now it's Mayor Bob Hedlund.
And we're back. Welcome to another edition, episode, version of Ask the Mayor. I'm your citizen inquisitor, your advocate, your friend Jim Melody here in the COVID-19 era. I'm joined, as always, by the mayor of the great town of Weymouth, Mr. Robert Hedlund. Mayor Hedlund, how are you today on this beautiful summer day?
Very good, Jim. Nice to see you at the far end of the table.
I was just going to say, will the shooting of the show denote that we have been separated by a minimum of 6 feet? And we are observing all the appropriate protocols.
We have been separated by some time, too.
And time and space, that's right. I haven't been on the show in 3 years. I just said to Bob,
By the way,
I wondered if any plot changes occurred, any character, switches.
You're looking well coiffed, too, today.
Thank you for
Just
saying
get a haircut?
so, which is a recent phenomenon. I'd like to thank Noreen's Finally Hair, which is about 400 yards down the road in Central Square. My first haircut in probably 4 months. And I was able to get in. That's a welcome relief. Bob?
Well, we'll see if that's a business driver or if it adversely impacts her business.
Well, listen, in fairness to Noreen, as I explained this to her, maybe this is a good way to start the show, Bob. She called me a floater. I don't have a regular person I go to. I paid $5 and I paid $50 and I get the same look after a week. So I'm a floater, as she referred to me in the profession. Do you have a dedicated professional that manages your appearance? Your hair, anyway.
Somewhat right now, but I'm used to be a floater.
Okay, so we bounced around. So when the quarantine was lifted relative to getting haircuts, I did call to Judy's. You know Judy's, of course.
The place with like 5,000 signs.
Yeah, that would probably be Judy's.
Gee, I wouldn't know there's a barbershop there.
RG's, a number of them. I reached out because I wasn't familiar with the protocols. They all were good enough to get back, and Noreen was able
Excellent.
to. And of course, since you asked, Bob, and I know we're supposed to reduce the jib jab, I showed up on the wrong day for the appointment. I booked it a week in advance. I misunderstood the appointment date. And Noreen, thanks again. Hopefully this is a big driver.
So, Jim, there's a lot of questions. I'm going to make a concerted effort to keep my answers short-winded today.
So I would imagine that's your subtle way
I'm
of
going
saying,
to try. I'm going to try.
Cut down on the jib jab. So, Robert, here we go.
No.
Okay. Listen, it is 4th of July season, it's upon us, and a big topic in all the papers, I buy a number of them during the course of the day, are the fireworks explosions that are occurring in all the rural and urban areas, Robert. So let's start there. What are you going to do about the continuous use of illegal fireworks that have been ongoing for a month? I realize the 4th is coming, but will there be anything done if it continues much beyond the 4th? That's from Carol Livingston, and in fact, there's a couple of questions that came in a similar fashion. Can anything be done about the fireworks as much as a month before the 4th of July? These have started nightly. Dogs are shaken. Young children are being woken every night. Please help. Thanks, Anonymous. And I know my dog is not a fan, Robert. What's your thoughts on the illegal fireworks explosion occurring?
Well, I live in proximity of Whitman's Pond, and I hear a lot of activity that has been going on for a month. So we recognize that is occurring. Police are doing their best amongst all their other responsibilities to, tamp down on that within reason. I'm guessing there's probably going to be more illegal fireworks this summer than in years past, given the fact that all the other fireworks celebrations are canceled.
Officially, do you know of a town that's hosting any fireworks, traditional fireworks celebrations?
I heard a rumor that ours were back on, but that is not the case. And I think by the time this airs, the 4th will have come and gone. But no, I mean, every town I'm aware of has canceled their fireworks this summer. And part of the reason was we had to make a judgment call very early on because of the scheduling and the issues in the contract with the vendor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they're not occurring here, they're not occurring in Hingham, Plymouth, everywhere else that I'm familiar with. So I think that's driven a lot of people to try to create their own celebration. I'm going to assume it's going to be pretty loud around the 4th in neighborhoods, I'm guessing. I think you indicated that you knew of some friends of yours that were stocking up.
In fact, I do. Yeah, people, for the first time ever, I mean, a couple weeks ago, a guy sent out a text saying, hey, would everybody like to, start?
I'm wondering sometimes that, the fact that they're illegal creates sometimes more demand. You can get them over the border in New Hampshire and other states.
Sure.
Is it time to look at, we legalized marijuana. Maybe it's time to legalize fireworks. I don't know. But We obviously want our police to make sure there's the rights of people who want some peace and quiet are dealt with.
This is why we get along, Bob. I swear that was going to be my follow-up question. Do you foresee a time where fireworks sales could become legal in the great state of Massachusetts?
I mean, I'm always been kind of libertarian leaning, and it's obviously the prohibition on fireworks is not working that well, so maybe that's something to look at.
How do the police handle it when they get a call like that? Will they make an arrest if they find somebody shooting them off?
I don't know if they'll make an arrest, and they'll tell someone to cease and desist, and if they persist, they may.
Right.
I know there have been, not necessarily in Weymouth, but there's been some busts of people who were selling.
Oh, no kidding.
You
So
know,
there's
out
a
of
black
their-
market for fireworks resale
Out of their
down there.
trunk, yeah.
Interesting. I pick up the New York
I was
Post.
actually, that was one of the more lucrative trades that I was involved
Oh,
in.
hey now.
In junior high school. You know, back in the day where you used to go to get them?
Your trunk. We used to buy black cat fireworks.
we got them in the North End. There was
Oh,
a location in the North End that was pretty well known that you'd go.
That was illegal, obviously. That you'd go buy, stock up.
Kids, you go in,
Yeah.
buy a brick, break the brick up, and sell them in the neighborhood packs. It was quite pretty good markup.
We were still playing with caps and down in Priscilla Circle. That was high society to us.
Statute of limitations is over. All right, let's go.
All right, we're moving on.
So I mean, you know, that's not the answer they probably want to hear, but yes, the police are acting on complaints, and they always can't identify, you know, which yard they're emanating from or what have you. And I don't think I think there's been a little bit of a tradition in the past to let people kind of have their way with it around the 4th or the 3rd. I know Whitman's Pond is quite a display. And I think they kind of let that go, but it's been an ongoing thing now for a month. It does seem like it started earlier this year and has continued, but.
I was going to say very quickly, I pick up the Post very regularly. In the month of June alone, it was something like last year they had 50 complaints. This year it's over 5,000. I mean, it's that dramatic. So it's definitely a phenomenon occurring across the country.
Short answers this show, remember?
Okay, here we go. Robert, this one's from Patrick Englund. Mr. Mayor, have you and your team found the adjustment, how have you and your team found the adjustment working remotely? Anything that has surprised you where you working from home is easier or harder, or how has this all been going with the virtual status of all the town offices?
I'd say it went fairly well. I mean, it is a pain, obviously, for citizens coming here. Couldn't just walk in the building, obviously. You had business in the clerk's office. You needed to call ahead. Something needed to be notarized. The clerk would go out in the parking lot and do it for you. Building department still functioned, tax collector's office. We talked a little bit about it in the previous show. I'll speak for my office and how it worked. It worked okay. It was a pain for me. I'm not good at working from home, kind of similar, you know, that when I had homework, I didn't have that discipline to do homework. And
It's an oxymoron, homework.
yeah, some people function very efficiently that way, and some people don't. I'm in the don't category. Plus, I was on 3 different quarantines. When I came back from my 3rd quarantine, I basically had this wing of the floor, if not the whole floor, to myself. So that ended up working out okay. Chief of staff would come in weekend, get mail, scan it, you know, work from home, communicate with departments that way. And I had the office and my computer here to work from. So it wasn't optimum. You know, I'm kind of tired of Zoom meetings. We had a face-to-face yesterday. We used the council chambers to spread everyone out. I know I've got a meeting with the Braintree mayor and his staff coming up next week. We'll be doing that over there in Braintree face-to-face, spread out, which I'm comfortable doing at this point. But I would say it functioned, but it wasn't enjoyable, to kind of summarize the answer for Mr. Englund.
Bob, as I know you know, we were talking before we started rolling. You were mentioned on Howie Carr show last week when I happened to be cruising around. I was listening to it. You extended what did you extend exactly that was the reference to the Howie Carr show?
No, I went on the Howie Carr to refute rumors that went around that we took the governor's last phase of openings and we somehow extended closures.
Oh, so that was fake news.
It was completely fake news.
I didn't- I only
and
heard it for 2
idiots,
seconds.
idiots on Facebook who just conjure something up and then promote it. And it kind of took off, and somebody evidently called Howie Carr and said Hedlund closed restaurants until July 13th or something.
That's the part I was half listening to driving down the road. And then
There were two rumors. One, that I took the restaurant thing and extended it, which is crazy because in Weymouth, we actually were proactive. Before the restaurants were allowed to open, we put a measure before our licensing board to create a blanket outdoor permit for everyone so that they could hit the ground running on day one. We did that.
Phenomenal.
We were the only town around here that kept our playing fields open. You know, we closed obviously the structures, but we kept our open spaces and our playing fields open, unlike other communities, and some still have them closed. So we were proactive on helping the restaurants, and some morons put information out that we closed the restaurants. I saw a thing, I won't mention the restaurant on Broad Street, but he put a thing on Facebook and said, the owner told me that the mayor shut us down for another 2 weeks, when in fact, as we're taping this, on Thursday, this past Monday, was the state allowed 50% indoor seating.
Right.
And I don't know how I shut him down when his parking lot's pretty full right now with customers, but so just nonsense out there. And that's why you heard me on there, because I called in to refute it. The other rumor that went out is we put a notice at Town Hall. I don't know if you saw carpenters working here today. So we're having some work done. We got some warranty work on water infiltration. So the Town Hall closure was extended for another 2 weeks. And people interpreted that to mean the entire town was shut down.
not true, obviously. And, God bless the value of personal relationships. As soon as that person called into Howie said, I'd be very surprised if Bob did that. I know he's a former restaurant owner.
All right, so we're one question in now, two questions in. Let's go.
3, technically, because the fireworks was 2. I just take these as they come, Bob. So this one says, hello, askmayorbob@gmail.com. So I do know the address. I am Lisa, Web Development Manager, and I work with 80-plus experienced IT professionals who are into web design and development. If you're interested, I can send you a price list and sample. Our pricing is very reasonable. Lisa, I hope this helps accelerate your business curve.
Is that another spam that got through you, Jim?
Right over to you. It's not from Asia this time. Looks like it's local. Yeah, that goes in the circular file. Okay. All right, inquiring minds want to know, Robert, this one's about Weymouth's waterfront. Dear Mayor, did the harbor master get a new boat? If so, where did this money come from to pay for it? I am all for having a harbor master, but this guy has more boats at the dock than I have cars in my driveway. Sincerely, Mary Heinrich. No, I'm kidding, Mary. A former resident of Regatta Road. Maybe you may have seen this from the front deck.
This is a great question. So the harbor master's newest acquisition,
Dun, dun, dun.
which is probably more sophisticated than the lead flagship of some countries' navies.
It's a dedicated Weymouth harbor master.
Yes.
Okay.
So in fact, the questioner is correct. The harbor master has a new boat. It actually came up at least 2 years ago, if not 3 years ago, shortly after I became mayor, that this was in progress. I actually held it up and took a close look at what this was going to cost the town, because as a layperson, I'm not an experienced boater as a mariner as Mary is. And I was concerned that, what we had, given our coastline and what the harbor master had, was sufficient, existing. However, this boat was secured on a grant that the harbor master was successful in going after.
For the federal government?
But I was concerned over ancillary costs.
Maintenance, repair.
Exactly,
Fuel.
and switch over, changing stuff over. So we worked out a plan where, it was contingent on the existing boat being sold to offset the cost of some of those ancillary costs. So, in fact, one of the boats that is being referenced is being sold to offset some of the transitional costs of getting this, but the boat itself was secured on a grant. So it's pretty over the top. It's a nice boat.
How big is it?
I don't know the size of it. I mean, I haven't even I have not even physically seen it. I know it's made an appearance on social media. I saw the specifications 3 years ago when this discussion started.
Oh, it's been going on for that long?
I just said that earlier in the answer to my question, yes.
3 years?
At least, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I said, we held it up until we could make sure that there wasn't going to be significant or any cost in this whole transition, and it's contingent on selling the other boat. So,
Can you comment on the size of the fleet? Are there a number of boats down there?
well, I mean, there's not, well, probably, this is getting repetitive. Yes, they have 2 large boats. One is being sold. And then there's some smaller boats that I'm aware of that are small, like a Zodiac and stuff, a smaller boat. So I don't know if you can call it like a fleet.
This guy has more boats at the dock than I have cars in my
The
driveway.
writer is observant.
Represent the
It has
people.
made a social media debut. That's where I saw the picture of it. I haven't physically seen it since it arrived. However, it did not here's the short answer, Jim, that we're trying to stick to today, even though you gave me 6 follow-ups on this one. We got it through a grant, and we're selling the old boat to offset the ancillary costs, so it hasn't impacted the town budget.
Kate, there's your answer. We're moving on.
Generally speaking. I don't know if the fuel usage is more or less or whatever, but generally speaking. Next.
The way the person
Here we
wrote
go.
the
Follow-up
question,
number
I thought there was 30 boats down there.
Let's go.
All right, Hedlund's Navy. All right, dear Mayor.
I hope I can get a ride in it sometime. It's impressive.
Dear Mayor.
By the way, no, I got to say this.
Take me with you.
I did say to Sue Kay when she was mayor one time, just in passing, we were somewhere, I was having a conversation, and I made a joke, and I said, what's with the Weymouth Harbor Master? I said, what's the next thing he's going to add to that boat? A howitzer on the bow? or depth charges? And she laughed, and she says, I don't get it. He's really good going after grants.
And
There's another example of it.
Who is he? Can you comment on our Weymouth Harbor Master? Who is our?
Can we just move on to the next question?
Okay, yeah. Anonymous. Dear Mayor, other parts of the town look great, but there is very little attention given to North Weymouth.
Here we go. Whoa, is North Weymouth. Oh, North Weymouth gets ignored on everything.
Could you buy a bigger boat? No, I'm kidding. Will you look into upgrading Beals
Yeah,
Park?
they just got a new boat. What more? They got 2 new boats. They got a new Chubby, and they got a new Harbor Master boat we keep in North Weymouth.
Leave me out of this, for heaven's sakes. Hold on. All right. Will you look into upgrading Beals Park and trimming overgrown trees up at Jim Melody's favorite overlook, Great Hill? We have such a beautiful location in the town. I wish you would spend more time at Wasaugusta Beach, Mr. Mayor, as well. Get some sun. Thank you, Evelyn.
I was there last night and saw a beautiful sunset
Up at Great Hill.
at Lane Beach.
Lane Beach.
It was phenomenal last night. Very, very fair amount of people down there. It was really nice. It's looking great. But I do have to go there during the day. Maybe I could play hooky from here and go there and get a little sun some afternoon. But I was there at sunset. Was it Evelyn you said?
That was Evelyn?
North Weymouth, Beals Park is getting attention right now, actually. We created some parking. There's new fencing. There is discussion happening that potentially could be the site of a skate and pump park. That's happening. There's some design work that was done. That's at a level right now that's happening between user groups, the polite ones that don't whine on Facebook incessantly about the loss of their skate park at level. We actually have some responsible skateboarders who want to engage in a productive discussion instead of just whine on social media. The district councilor and recreation department. So that's happening right now. Whether she would consider that an improvement or not, I don't know, but that's happening. But there were some recent upgrades. We're trying to help out one of the abutters who has a business on the other side over on Athens Street. We're trying to help them out on some Beals Park related stuff. So there's things happening there. There was some recent paving, both down along the walking trail and the new parking lot that was created there. So I think North Weymouth's getting a fair amount of attention on a lot of different things, but we go over all things North Weymouth at a later date, I guess.
Bob, a little quick Citizen Inquisitor insertion here because I did miss the last show and talk about attention to an area of the town that needed it. I need to publicly state my appreciation and fondness for the repaving of Union Street coming out of Columbian Square, going all the way down the Rockland Strip. It's been a focus of conversation, a topic of conversation on the show on more than one occasion. I texted him when I drove down that road. It sounds like everybody's been on it. I feel like I live in a new town. It is absolutely phenomenal. The work is stupendous. It's changed the look and feel for me on a daily basis living in this town.
Well,
it's phenomenal.
We were
Thank you.
We were getting
And to all
pummeled. We were
involved.
getting pummeled on that, and people couldn't understand that we have no control when a gas company decides to rip up a street to replace a main.
I was one of them.
And it was frustrating for us to wait for them to finish the damn job. By the way, Jim, there will be a marked bike lane on Union Street.
Oh, son of a gun. Great.
There will be a link to Union Point and to Columbian Square, and I hope to see you on a bike on that lane at some point.
Skateboard, perhaps.
Do you have any good biking spandex?
I've been asked not to wear that by my neighbors, but I do have a pair of shorts, yes.
All right. So we tried to get a lot of questions. We're not doing good on this pace here.
Listen,
come on.
We could talk all show about how excited, enthusiastic I am, and everybody in the great domain of South Weymouth is about the repaving of that road. Thank you. So you were complaining when the North Weymouth people complained, and you're complaining when the South Weymouth people are praising you.
I'm not complaining. I'm explaining that
there we go.
there's a process sometimes.
Okay. Was it 3 years?
It was, actually.
All right, because I think I've been harassing you for 4. I'm wondering, Robert, this one is from a concerned citizen. I'm wondering if you have any...
Now you can complain about Route 18. So go on. Let's go. Next question.
That's a work in progress, baby. I want the further Union Street done all the way down to the base would be my next, the genie in the bottle. By the way, can you comment on that? How far will that extension, that repaving go to? Okay. Okay.
I don't know, Z.
I have limited powers here, Citizen Inquisitor. Robert, completely different topic and matter. New question. I'm wondering if you have any intention of publicly denouncing the Wayscan Facebook page. In times like these, the last thing we need is a civilian who feels empowered by the police fanning the flames of hate in this town. The administrator of this page is doing nothing but causing hate and division while making our valued police department look like fools. Best, a concerned citizen. Robert, I am not familiar with the Wayscan Facebook page. Could you edify us?
So generally, I am off of all Facebook pages because it is oftentimes a swamp. And the only remaining page I really visit, and I'm teetering on that one, is Everything Weymouth. We thought coming in here that Facebook was a valuable tool to communicate with people, and we try to put a lot of information out on Bob Hedlund, Mayor. Put the link up. I would encourage people, if they want accurate information, they can go there.
Your own page.
Yep. And I think when I came in here, the Town of Weymouth Facebook page only had like 120 followers, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got that up significant, and we use that to communicate. So if you want information, buy a newspaper, visit the mayor's page, visit the town Facebook page, visit the town website. I've seen Scan Weymouth, but I don't visit it. It doesn't come up in my feed, so I can't really comment. I have not seen anything other there than, reporting on accidents and things like that. So I'm not sure what the writer is talking about, to be honest with you. My only comment would be, there's a lot of people fanning a lot of stuff these days everywhere. And, there's an incident this week that I know for a fact is false, where accusations are being made, and not relating to this, but kind of a similar situation, that I know to be false, and there's heavy-duty charges, and there could be some legal action.
Involving the police department?
No. Involving people on social media making accusations and fanning flames. So I don't know what to say because I don't know what the person's referring to. My only answer would be, why can't we just get along?
Why can't we all just get along?
I don't know what was said on that site, so I can't really denounce something. I have no idea what he's talking about.
The Wayscan Facebook page. Is anybody familiar with that?
There's been a Wayscan and a Scan Weymouth. They basically report on things they hear on the police scanner.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding. I'll probably.
All right, next question, Jim.
Okay. Tough stuff. This is a TV question, Robert.
I'm going to go back to that interviewing myself segment next time. So thanks for joining us again. And Mayor, thanks for joining us for another episode of Ask the Mayor. I hope you've had a great summer. We're taping this on the just post Labor Day, and we'll see how many questions we can do.
See, this is what happens when I take a couple years off. I got to refresh my the batteries here, recharge the batteries. TV question, Bob. I would like to know what's up with Route 18. I did not write this. Will it ever be done? There is hardly anyone working on it on a daily basis. The way they leave it is also unacceptable. You need to drive at about 5 miles an hour or take the risk of damaging your car. I can't even drive my motorcycle down it. Then you come up Route 58 to avoid some of the Route 18 traffic, and that's even worse from the FedEx depot to Route 18. Where are our tax dollars going? Have a good day from Cheryl Gibert. So this project...
Route 18, it's a state project, Jim, long overdue.
Just started a couple years ago, didn't it?
Jim, Route 18, state project, 4-year project. I think we're a couple of years in. They got a lot further work south of us. A lot of the northern side of it's being done. Yeah, the patchwork stinks, but the patchwork's occurring on a daily basis because of the utility relocation. I mean, they're doing trench work, you know, and then they're doing trench work adjacent to it.
Is that the big part of the labor, moving all the utilities?
It's horrible. That's the logistical part of that is the worst part of this. The utility relocation is the absolute most time-consuming part of this, and that's where they're at in Weymouth. It was a disaster this week. I don't know if this call got prompted because I know they had another gas main break. That created a disaster earlier this week. I forgot which day. We got a lot of frustration expressed that day, but that was obviously a freak thing, although it's happened before, where they had a gas main go. So that's complicated work in this phase. You know, people complained that we weren't getting attention to Route 18 and didn't get the project, you know, moving forward, because this project, this phase, this 4-year job that we're in now is one of the phases of the Route 18 widening project. You remember, sections were widened before, and then you have the lane drops and it creates congestion, and people were upset that the state only did a portion of it. So now we were able to get the state to put it on the TIP, the Transportation Improvement Plan. The state got it funded. It's getting done. Can't win. When it's not getting done, people are mad. Now we're getting it done, and people don't like the way it's getting done. It's definite disruption. It stinks, but hopefully it'll be behind us soon.
Well, the length of the repaving is going from the exit on exit 16 down to the Trukeys in Abington. Is that fair to say? Listen, you know I was a vocal complainant, is that even a word, about what was going on Union Street. I drive down Route 18 3 or 4 times a day. I'd have to say it is what it is. I don't agree with most of what this person said. I mean, it's tough stuff for sure, but it's you know, work in progress. Like it seems to be, we understood it was going to be a 4 or 5 year project. So it seems like it's business as usual from where I'm sitting, but what the hell do I know? All right, well, listen, as always, we want to remind everybody to keep the questions coming too. Keep the questions coming too. Ask the mayor. Hold on, I'm getting there. Thanks, Jeff. You better wave that. AskMayorBob@gmail.com. He's laminated it. He knows his audience. AskMayorBob@gmail.com. We could use some more questions.
The last
There's a lot
one?
going on.
Last one?
I believe this will be it. Yeah, we're wrapping up another exciting episode. And Bob, I think we are close to a company record here, but let's just go quickly. It's a road paving question from Greetings, Mayor. Pine Street and Elm Street near Mount Hope Cemetery were recently repaved, and the job is absolutely top-notch. This work deserves recognition. Again, top quality work. Regards, Mr. X.
So he's
How
got
phenomenal is that?
He's got a name and he's got an X.
I forgot to add a question to the original read.
Out another anonymous.
Well, I don't think anybody needs to be anonymous who's praising you, for heaven's sakes, but James, I do apologize. Oh, Mr. X.
Well, we're ending on a high note.
Well,
and by the way, if this were a dance, guys, if this were a dance, we're stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, well, listen.
There was no chemistry today, Jim.
It's rough. I think you're a little on the
What do you
feisty
think,
side,
folks?
Mr. Mayor.
Bring back Mary, yes or no? Let us know.
I could always wear a dress on the next show if that would make you feel more comfortable. Bob, where is Mount Hope Cemetery, of course, is my only question. Where is he referring to specifically, Pine and Elms?
The one that you drive by every day.
Is that Mount Hope Cemetery?
Pine Street and Hope, going up towards like 30.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Should I tell them the story and when I gave you directions one time to a place?
Feel
And
free.
and I mentioned the Main Street,
Wrap it up.
and you said, where's that?
Could be. Listen.
Pleasant Street.
I know we have to go quickly. Bob, I would say on the ride over here, today is the anniversary of the broadcast of All You Need Is Love. There's 58 million people, I think they said. So if you guys could find the footage of Bobby met Paul McCartney, which has a lot more meaning to me than it does to him, it's a phenomenal footage of Bob actually interacting with Mr. McCartney. And of course, his first question to Paul McCartney, the Beatle, the legend, was, hey, do you know anybody in Tesla? That's a lie, but it's a fun clip.
I knew his sound guy, though.
You did know the McCartney sound guy.
The guy that runs production for the speakers at his concerts and sound.
He met Paul McCartney.
He's a musician, and he said, what's this?
I said, who's this sound guy? Who's half listening anyway? We're fighting. We're going to be friends the next time you see us. Everybody stay safe and stay tuned for...
We're just going to play All You Need Is Love.
Dun, 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 dun.
If you have a question, please email the mayor at askmayorbob@gmail.com. That's askmayorbob@gmail.com. Maybe your question will be answered on the next episode of Ask the Mayor.